Welcome back to Dita.Did. So in the last video, I promised that I would do a journaling manifestation video. So I'm here with my journal and I'm going to read through some tips that I have learned over time just to keep your journal interesting for you and just make it easier for you to go back and read any advice for yourself that you might want to in the future. So, number one is use different pens and colors. I do this whenever I'm feeling a certain mood. If I'm feeling very sad, I'll use blue, obviously. If I'm feeling very confident and had a great day, then I'll maybe use like a bright orange or yellows. When I'm feeling, like I have some goals, new goals that I want to achieve, then I'll use dark blues, just something very bold so I can catch my eye later on when I go back to read it. So the second tip for journaling is use point form. There's so many times that I used to ramble on throughout my journal, and it's just so much easier to get to the point. Write down the specifics of your day, what you did, and just make it easy for yourself to read in the future. You don't need all the babble in between. Just get the main points, the events throughout the day, the stuff that changed your life. Just get to the freaking point. Next point. Use icons and doodles for your moods. So if I'm doing manifestation, I'll use stars and little cute doodles. If I, have goals, I'll use check boxes. If I'm feeling romantic and lovely and whatever, a bunch of hearts to remind myself of a nice romantic day that I had. All right, so another one of them would be use memorabilia. Obviously, this is a scrapbooking tip where you take photos, dried up flowers, tickets, basically any random thing that you find throughout your day that might be interesting and that might hold a thought or a memory. And just glue it in your, I was going to say sketchbook, but your journal for the future. Even if you don't remember what it is and it just looks cute in your book and keeps things interesting, then that's fine. So I have some writing prompts. If you have no idea what to write in your journal and you're just writing about your day and it gets a little boring after a while, so start writing about the future. So a few things here. In, again, point form, write down your recent achievements and events that you have done. I only usually write in my journal probably once a month at most. So I think about what I did for that whole entire month, and then I'll just point form all the things that I achieved or all the things that I'd done that were interesting. So, when I'm older and have hopefully not dementia, then, someone can read me my book and I'll be surprised with all the stuff that I used to do. Another writing prompt, an issue racking your brain. This would be a good time to babble on. If you have a situation in your life that you just can't wrap your head around or talk to anybody about it, then I would suggest writing out your feelings down in a journal, because there's so many times that I have slowly written down my problems and then halfway through I realize the solution or realize that it's really not that big of a deal. So definitely give that a try. Next one would be write down your hopes and dreams. Write down your goals and write down even prayers. If you have friends and family members that are going through not the best time, write a little thing of what you wish for them also. That way, it's like a forever valid prayer in your book and you can always go back and read it. So my next tip would be to write I ams. I have probably 3 pages of I ams because I was feeling really shitty about myself, really just doubtful and everything. So I heard from another advice writing video to write I ams. So once I got started with at least the first 10, I just started rambling on with I am creative, I am energetic, I am talented, I am smart, I am independent, all of these things. And then you just start to build up all of these things that you didn't even realize you were, and then you end up with 3 pages. So go to town with as many I ams as possible, and you can always go back and read it whenever you feel like a, you know, a piece of shit. So next, 5-year plan. I would suggest writing a 5-year plan. Even if you don't know what you're gonna do, just write where you hope to be in your 5-year plan. I actually did this 5 years ago and read it back to myself a little while back, and it said I wanted to be moved out, I wanted to be with a great man, I wanted a stable job, I wanted to start paying off my school debt, and I can't remember if there was something else, but all of those things have been achieved. I moved out, I got a great boyfriend, I got a stable job, and I'm paying off my debt. So definitely do your 5-year plan. Words you wish to be associated with. So I wrote down a bunch of words, and I used a different color for every single word, so it's all in rainbow form here. You know, fulfilled, inspired, progress, respected, style, potential, focus, recognition, all of these crazy words that if you were to eavesdrop on a conversation about someone talking about you, what would the words that you'd want to be hearing? And keep reading this list to yourself and see if you feel those things. And if you don't, that's something you got to work on. You know, if you don't feel respected, then you got to start speaking up and demand respect for yourself. Back to the tips. So, daily plan or your perfect day. I actually really love this one. This was a tip from another YouTuber. So think about the time that you would wake up and usually go to bed. And I did like a little color grid chart from day to night. So I planned out my perfect day. You know, I want to wake up and maybe have tea, have a light breakfast. I want to dance in my living room and just enjoy the morning. You know, when it comes around 10, I have to work a little bit, so I'll go do my job for maybe an hour. And then I come back and I set 5 hours aside so I can be in my studio and be doing what I love doing. But think about your specific perfect day. Think about what that entails, how you want to feel that day. Do you want to be laughing? Do you want to be exercising? Do you want to be reading? Do you want to be productive? Think about all the words that are associated with your perfect day and work that into every single day. Even if it's for like 10 minutes of dancing in your living room, just make time. Next tip. Life lessons and moments of growth. So anytime that I have a day and I feel like I've had some personal growth, I'll go home and write it down in my journal and write down what happened, how I felt, how I got there. And I can always go back and reread it for another time, because sometimes it takes a couple tries to really sink that lesson in. At the end of a good day and what made it so. So obviously, you know, moments of growth, kind of like the last tip. If you had a really great day, in point form, write down all the things that made it that great day. What did you do? You had a great meal that made you feel good. You danced in the living room. You went for a nice walk and like sketched in the forest or something like that. Whatever it is that made your great day, write down all the things that made it great and try to work that into every day. So that's all I have for journaling and manifestation. The main key is to really just make your journal beautiful. Buy something that looks beautiful. Buy a couple nice pens and markers to write down stuff in your journal just to keep it interesting for yourself. And yeah, no one has to read it. No one has to see what you've been thinking about, but I, at times, do write down as if someone's reading it because eventually I'm gonna die and someone might enjoy reading this book. So, you know, maybe write a personal message out to somebody, anybody, and leave something for the world behind. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back with some videos about I don't know what eventually. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Bye!